Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel, and I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering an independent series. I'm going back to my roots. It's called Complicated the Series. Now, I did cover this series back on my old channel for season 1. It was on YouTube, and then it went to Tubi. Season 2 is now out on Tubi. Now, before y'all turn your nose up, I need y'all to know, don't buy into the foolishness of people just posting those type of clips, trying to really downgrade Tubi. There are a lot of great artists, there's a lot of great filmmakers, there's a lot of great projects on Tubi, and this is one. Have I let y'all down as of yet? I'll wait. Okay, thought so. So, when I'm right, and I'm always right. So, yes, Complicated the Series Season 2 is out. It's been greatly anticipated. This is a series brought to you by Mr. Kierick Greer and Johnny Sizemore. Shout out to them. Shout out to the cast and crew, everybody that makes this happen. Y'all are in for a treat, so what I need you to do, go to Tubi and rack them numbers up so that we can pump these seasons up and to get the series out in a quicker time. Now, I don't know what the wait was, but I'm glad that you're here because it's been a long time. So I first saw season 1 during the whole pandemic. I caught it and just instantly fell in love with it. So I'm glad you're here. And all I can say is, hey, you made it here before Cardi B's sophomore album. So y'all doing something right. So let's get into episode 1 of season 2. Okay, so where we left off, give you a little summary as to what was happening at the finale of season 1. There was a lot of stuff happening at one of the characters named Erica's birthday party. We found out a lot of stuff. We found out that Erica's ex-boyfriend, at least the cast found out, we found out a couple episodes before, they made a baby. However, Erica got rid of it. Never told her husband, all that good stuff. Her best friend Valerie, she found out about it on a whim after asking questions to both Jalen and to Erica, what's up? They had nothing. So it all blew up in her face. Another story that was happening, there is this, is he running for mayor? I think it is. Calvin. Calvin is the villain this season. But there's other villains as we go along, within the plot of the storylines that are going on, as we'll get into according to season 2. He did a lot of stuff. I was on his side, at least in season 1, on some things that concerning his wife, but he treated his wife bad. All we knew that there was this something that made Calvin literally throw out his wife. And he did. And you can see that in the first episode. That's why you need to check it out if you have not checked it out. So anyways, he's the villain, at least during season 1. But he's pissed off a lot of people, and all of a sudden there's this mystery of somebody coming to pow him. We see him lying in a pool of blood. He's been lying there for 3 years. Sorry, I had to take my dig one more time. I had to tease, I'm sorry. But yeah, so finally Calvin has made it to the hospital in season 2. It's an opening scene where the news is reporting on it. Some mystery guy is watching it and all of a sudden is in a panic and he needs to find out what's going on. At the hospital, Calvin's fiance, who is Morgan, she is trying to get the nurse's attention. And you know how certain folks, Morgan is white. So she's at the counter. Hey, I'm putting a little jazz on it, but I need some answers about my fiance. Can you get somebody to help? And the nurse is looking like, soon somebody will come and let you know what's happening. And of course, Morgan is very demanding. And she says, can somebody come tell me something? So, of course, because the nurse wants to keep her job, She doesn't say, but her face says it all. But anyways, Mo shows up, and of course, Mo is still the wife of Calvin. And of course, Morgan is instantly irritated. Now we jump over to Kennedy. Kennedy is a content creator. She's doing this live and just having the time of her life. She's about to get into some things, and then her audience is giving her clues as to something's going on her site. And one said, are you in competition with Pornhub? And she's like, what? So she goes and looks at her website and sees the video that was submitted to her on the low now has been leaked. This is of Mo, who is Calvin's wife, and also her stepmammy, who we got the pleasure of meeting last season. We go back to the hospital. Mo, she takes authority as Calvin's wife, and she gets the questions that Morgan could not get as fiance. Must be a slap in the face, isn't it, Morgan? And what she basically said, her first order of business is that only Calvin's family and friends, family and maybe friends are allowed to be there. And since Morgan is not technically family, she's just a fiance, you gotta go. The doctor is there, not giving up information to Morgan. And of course, Morgan, who thought that she was just going to be that type of Karen to basically say, do you know who I am? Yes. And we're going to know you out on the streets. So get your tail on out there. So the doctor tells Mo Calvin has been shot in the spine and possible paralysis could be his future. So after giving that information, the fiance comes back, and of course Mo is instantly irritated, saying, what are you coming back for? She's like, look, we're going to have to tell the public about this. Can you give me some information? And Mo was like, you can make up something, give them little, there's not much information to give, blah, 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 blah. You can work this out, basically. And then Mo said, over here, we got everything handled. Then Morgan said, oh, you have everything handled. I've been meaning to tell you this. So you got this handled? Basically, she shows that there's a sex tape that has been leaked of her having Taco Tuesday with Kennedy's stepmammy. So, yeah. So we're at this point of seeing Mo horrified. So we go back to Kennedy. Kennedy is upset, and she's reporting to the internet people or the proper authorities that her account has been hacked, and we got to get this video down. And whoever is talking with her is saying, you sure you got hacked? Don't you think you need to talk to the co-account person that's in charge, which is Dante Wright. And in walks pint-sized Dante Wright. Nothing against the actor, but since I don't really like that dude as the character, I got to take a dig at him a little bit. So Kennedy and Dante have it out because now she's figured out that this is that Dante leaked the footage. Because last season, Dante was trying to get Kennedy to go on and do this thing. And of course, now he went on and handled it himself, as we did see during the season finale. Of course, he's trying to make justifications, saying, you know me, I'm impulsive, and you really have to just trust my instincts, as I've always done before. Kennedy wasn't trying to hear all of that. It's like, you did all of this and is really trying to mess up the only relationship or good relationship I do have with my father, who's the only one that really loves me. And Dante was like, the only one? I love you too. She said, oh, just like you loved me when you went and got that boarding school girl. Of course, I'm saying girl. She said another word. Pregnant and all that good stuff. So she said, F that, and also F that baby. I said, oh, go ahead, Kennedy, tell them off. And she gives him a slap. I loved it. I wish you slapped him harder. So Kennedy leaves. Dante calls someone saying that this ish is getting out of hand and to call me back, ninja. So this is a man that he's talking with. Who is this man? We'll find out in a few episodes. So Zay, he gets a call from his roster. Somebody from his roster who really wants to... Zay's been avoiding. But now he finally picks up because she's going to keep calling and calling and calling. She wants some more time with Zay. And he's like, well, he's looking for something more meaningful and all that good stuff. At this point, you know, him and Kennedy are off to a good start, and he's trying to change his ways. But his roster is calling him and tempting him. So anyways, while he's on the phone, he gets this alert on his phone, and he sees the leaked video of Kennedy's stepmammy. I'm going to keep saying stepmammy. And Mo. And instantly, he hangs up from the girl. So next we see Morgan. She does her press conference, does give minimum information and all that good stuff. And the audience claps, but there is a lingering clap. And all of a sudden we see this guy come out of nowhere, and Morgan recognizes him. And we find out the dude's name is Dion Fitzgerald. And he's either a cop or FBI because he instantly starts questioning Morgan. And then he gets on the topic of Mo a little bit. Like, it's quite coincidental that this video leaked at the same time Calvin got pow pow. And she said, why don't you ask the ones that are in this video? But basically, do I need a lawyer or are we through here? And basically he said, we're through for now. But you can tell that they have this past. It looks like they smashed back in the day. Morgan's a little bit flustered. So we're going to see what happens there. Whew. Now, one of the ending scene, well, almost the wrap-up of the season, we saw that Jalen came to visit Erica at the hotel. Because, you know, Erica's husband, Chase, threw her out after finding out all this information that Erica had been hiding. So we're at the hotel, and Jalen's just asking in a more sincere way, you know, why didn't you tell me about the baby? You know, I would have been there for you. And Erica was like, look, I know you want answers, but I can't give them to you. And then she just asked, you know, can you please leave? And of course, Jalen's quite upset about that. And like, what do you mean? Like, I gotta leave. But anyways, Erica steps out of the room, probably went to the bathroom. At the same time, Erica's phone is going off. And then the thing starts getting crazy. Everything starts getting crazy. Jalen takes out his phone and opens a tracker app. So he's programmed Erica's phone to be tracked. I said, Negro, what do you got going on? And we're going to find out at the end of this episode what Jalen has going on. Val, she goes back to her place, and she's crashing out after the crash out at the party. And she's blaming herself, but also knocking down pictures that included the three amigas, Mo, Erica, and Val as friends. And she's saying, how did I miss this? I think Val, at this point of her life, lives how she wants to live, but in a more controlled way of keeping her guard up, making sure that she doesn't get hurt by anyone and all that stuff, and to see something seeped in, and somehow she's blaming herself. And I don't think right now that Val should really, I would say, blame herself. She was asking all the right questions last season. It's just the ones that were lying to her. And she was giving people the benefit of the doubt. Zay goes and visits Mo. Mo obviously is in a funk because now what she does on the low has been exposed to, at least, is it the Greenville, South Carolina area? I think that's where it is. But anyway, they have a heart-to-heart. While he's sitting there, he's smoking a blunt, and Mo doesn't know how to smoke it. But Zay says, go on and take a whiff of it, or puff, whatever you want to call it. So she does, and she starts choking like Jackie Christie off of Basketball Wives. Of course, they talk about the experience and all that stuff, and she says that she regrets it. I would like to know from Mo, what does she regret? Regret giving into your desires, or regret doing it with a married woman? because hopefully she doesn't regret it as far as finally being able to be herself. But I guess we'll find that out in future episodes. But then she says, the tape that was leaked, the footage that was leaked is the least of her worries. And Zay was like, what? What you've been doing has been released to the public. You have children. What are you talking about? The least of your worries. And she ends up saying that Calvin got pow. And she said, look, I need you, Zay. Calvin is not perfect. What's his name? Portia Williams, ex-dude. Cordell is not perfect by far. I said, Lord Jesus, Mo, what are we doing? What are we doing? I need to do what's best for the children, and that's what's best for their father. And I need you to be on board. And Zay was like, that's debatable. And I'm with Zay right now, because Calvin's been tripping. So at this point, Zay kind of just gives in and goes with the flow of what Mo wants. And then Zay kind of just closes out the whole conversation that they were having in regards to Mo's sexuality. Like, don't lie to me. We are family. And of course, at this point, Mo says, yeah. I think Zay would have been always okay knowing about her sexuality, but it's something that she kept hidden for whatever reason. And then they kind of joke about, we can go out of town and we can see if we can get a baddie and she can come back to our house. And what I was getting from that conversation, I think he wanted to share a baddie, but I wasn't really for sure what all he was suggesting, but it looks like let's go get some women together. All right, so Jalen returns back to his place and he's quite distraught and saying, I'm not crazy, in tears. We're seeing flashes of the past, last season and all that, with Erica, with Val and all of that. And then I said, what is going on, Ninja? Do I need to get the garlic? If you watch Sinners, the movie, shout out to Michael B. Jordan. You know what I mean. All of a sudden, his dad appears. What we were told last season, that the dad was losing his life. But he was still amongst the living. The dad says, it's been a long time since you've been like this, since I've seen you like this. And Jalen starts to tell him about, she was supposed to be mine. Erica, I had it all planned out. I said, what? And the dad is reminding him, get it together. You are in control. And Jalen was like, I don't feel it. So the dad is suggesting to call his therapist and you will be okay. So we go back to the hotel. Erica runs into Ava. Ava is the pregnant girl that we seen Chase going into the hotel room at the end of the season. Now, one thing, since I've already seen the other episode, I'm not going to reveal that as of yet. I'm not going to reveal that. I'll talk about it later. Anyway, Erica asks Ava, where's the baby? And Ava says that the baby's resting. And Erica suggests, do you want to go to dinner? This can't be a coincidence that we just keep bumping into one another. And she says no. And Erica said, are you sure? Because I think that there are things that we need to talk about. Like what? Well, you got this restaurant menu and there was a CVS on the corner and all that, but somehow you came to the restaurant. And she said, ma'am, I had to pee. And she said, no, you have this menu in your hand. No, something else is going on. So let me cut to the chase. Did my husband father your baby? No. Well, then who did? That's none of your business. And then, of course, they walk off. I said, okay, Erica, you're not that obtuse as to what's going on around here. You put that together. I'm surprised you did. But, of course, women have an intuition. And, of course, I thought at the beginning of the season when that pregnant woman came in, I was like, oh, what's going on here? It left my mind because I was like, well, there hasn't been any follow-up until the season finale of last season, where he first needed to talk to his sister, and then he winds up at the hotel room. I said, Lord. So Chase out here being quite harsh to Erica when he got a side baby, perhaps. So Jalen is speaking with his dad saying, you know, I had this all planned out. I finally found her and I knew she was married, but she wasn't happy. And the father was like, how do you know that? And that wasn't your place. And he said, all your work that you've done as far as getting back into Erica's life has been rooted in lies. And he was like, she was pregnant, but I wasn't right in here. And basically, the dad encourages his son to tell Erica the truth and apologize. And then all of a sudden his dad leaves, and of course, Jalen does not want that to happen. But then all of a sudden, we see a funeral program. And it has Jalen's dad on there, and it says, Byron J. Thomas, born, I think, 1950, passed away in 2011. The dad's been gone, even though he was telling Erica that he is losing his life, but was still amongst the living. As I said earlier, I said, what is going on? And then next thing you know, Jalen has this big wall, which I'm going to phrase it as Wall of Weird. If you ever watched Smallville on the CW channel back in the day, well, first on the WB, but anyways, that was my show. Chloe Sullivan had the Wall of Weird as she was tracking down all of these media freaks. We see newspaper clippings, we see photos of the girls, Mo, Val, and Erica. We see a picture of Chase, him Xing him out. I said, Lord Jesus, it was all a scheme set up by Todd to come to us with the BS. I said, Lord Jesus, Jalen, we were rooting for you. We were rooting for you. And you came back and just you took it all away in just an instance. Lord, now I did feel like in season 1 that there was just this mysterious, almost villain-like type of characteristic I was seeing out of Jalen. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I was like, I was drawn in by him because of the mystery of him. I was like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen. But then it was like, it seems to subside. But really, after knowing all of this, there's an obsession there. There's something not right in his mind. And I'm really trying, when you really gather up the information, he's tracking Erica. He's got this wall of weird of Erica. And you can see that he circled Val. And he used Val as a gateway to get to Erica. Him knowing her favorite movie, her favorite color, lets me know that mine ain't right. It's just not because he's soulmates with this woman. He's obsessed with this woman. Bravo to the cast. I'm going to say this much. Mr. Lawrence Locke, you're about to eat. You are about to eat in this role. You've been eating. You're about to eat. And I can't wait. So, bravo to the cast. Bravo to the crew. Bravo to the writers. Y'all have really have given me what I needed. And I'm glad that you're back. And I'm excited for the season. I'm excited that you guys get to distribute it out for us. I'm a fan. I'm always going to be a supporter. Again, you guys support this series. Go to Tubi. Complicated, the series. Watch seasons 1 and 2 if you have not seen them. And also, they have another series which is of the franchise, Complicated Atlanta, which is my show. Go and check them out and see season 1. I think I did see an announcement that Complicated Atlanta will be coming out in the fall. So I'm excited for that. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Like this video, subscribe, and leave your comments below. And until the next one, peace.